Walk down any supermarket aisle today, and you are surrounded by thousands of dietary choices, each promising a healthier version of you. But for anyone trying to manage their weight, there is a common instinct: cut out the cooking oil. People actively strip fats from their meals out of a direct fear of gaining weight. This chart shows the math driving that fear. But that calculation trades away your cognitive function, your core temperature regulation, and the structural integrity of your cells. We see this exact dynamic play out in elder care. Well-intentioned families often put aging parents on strict regimens of water-boiled vegetables, completely devoid of oil and salt. The immediate result is that the meals taste terrible. The senior loses their appetite entirely, refusing to eat the very food meant to keep them healthy. Beyond the lack of calories, avoiding fats out of cardiovascular caution creates a specific neurological deficit. The aging brain relies heavily on dietary fats to maintain cognitive pathways and stave off decline. True physical health requires the exact opposite approach. We cannot treat all oils as an enemy to be eliminated. Instead, we have to treat dietary fat as a portfolio. The goal is to strategically balance your intake of omega-3, omega-6, and omega-9 fatty acids based entirely on how you currently eat and live. To build that portfolio, we must look at how your immune system responds to different fats. Omega-6 acts like the gas pedal for inflammation. When you suffer an injury, your body needs that inflammatory response to send repair cells to the site. Sourcing this fat is incredibly easy. Omega-6 is abundant in mass-produced soybean and agricultural seed oils used in almost all commercial snacks and takeout. But once the healing is done, you need to hit the brakes. That is the exact role of omega-3. It resolves the inflammation and returns your system to a calm, baseline state. The problem is availability. Omega-3s rarely show up in standard daily meals. You must actively seek them out from specific sources, like deep-sea marine life. This comparison shows the biological ideal. To manage inflammation correctly, the omega-3 to omega-6 ratio should sit between 1:2 and 1:4. Now, look at the modern takeout diet. Relying heavily on convenience foods stretches the omega-6 bar dramatically, pushing that ratio to 1:20. Constantly flooding your system with omega-6 without enough omega-3 to stop the reaction locks your body into a state of chronic systemic inflammation. Many people recognize this imbalance and head to the pharmacy to fix it with supplements, only to get tripped up by two nearly identical product names. First is fish liver oil. Extracted directly from the liver of the fish, this supplement is dense in vitamins A and D, making it highly effective for supporting bone density and eye health. That is very different from true fish oil. This is extracted from the fat of the fish itself to provide EPA and DHA, the specific fatty acids required to calm inflammation and support neural development. If you grab fish liver oil simply because the name sounds right, you will fortify your skeleton, but you will completely miss the cognitive and anti-inflammatory benefits you actually need. This need for balance extends directly to your own kitchen. Traditional home cooking often relies on solid, animal-based saturated fats like lard to build flavor. For anyone eating a standard modern diet, this presents a mathematical problem. If you regularly eat meat, you are already consuming high levels of saturated fat. Adding animal grease to your vegetables just creates an unnecessary strain on your cardiovascular system. Instead, you need a neutral base. Plant-based oils rich in omega-9 provide heat stability for cooking without disrupting your carefully managed gas-to-break inflammation ratio. Buying a massive tub of a single fat is cheap and convenient, but maintaining a diversified plant-curated rotation is what actually delivers compounding biological benefits. This flowchart outlines how to apply these rules. Because there is no single perfect oil, your strategy has to be dictated by your existing habits. Take Path 1, the takeout regular. If your diet is dominated by restaurant meals, your omega-6 levels are already maxed out. Your primary action is to supplement heavily with omega-3, specifically EPA, to hit the brakes on that inflammation. Path 2 requires a different intervention. For senior caregivers, the priority shifts to the brain. You must supplement with DHA to fight cognitive decline, while cooking with highly palatable omega-9s to keep the patient's appetite active. Finally, Path 3 is for the home chef. You control the ingredients, so your goal is variety. Rotate between heat-stable omega-9s, like olive oil, and nutrient-dense omega-6s, like sesame or soybean oil. Diagnosing your current intake and adjusting your portfolio to match is the most direct way to mitigate the physical risks of systemic swelling and mental decline. However, none of this matters if the fat degrades before it reaches your plate. Buying economy-sized jugs and leaving them sitting right next to your stove exposes the oil to constant heat, ambient light, and oxygen. This breaks down the chemical structure before the bottle is even half empty. You have to protect the asset. Buy your oils in small, dark glass bottles and keep them stored securely in a cool, dark cupboard. And always look for verified safety certifications on the label rather than trusting unverified marketing claims. Improving your health does not mean fearing calories or starving your cells of structural support. It requires treating dietary fat exactly like an investment portfolio, analyzing your deficits, selecting the right assets to balance your system, and protecting them from degradation.